This video is for Kenneth Okonkwo. When you listen to Kenneth Okonkwo, you'll be tempted to take him serious. But an in-depth look, you'll discover that Kenneth is as wild as his mouth, but shallow in depth as his foot. Kenneth is nothing but a man controlled by his stomach. He's the same with an average Nigerian politician, controlled by their stomach. Kenneth is a hungry man who wants to get to stardom, and he has to find a way to do it. Kenneth came to limelight through living in bondage. No sooner than that, he woke up one morning and said he was born again, and then he went into a church controlled by a powerful preacher from the east. No sooner than he arrived at church, he declared himself a man with a call. So I'm talking about Kenneth, who told the world he had a call of the Lord, and then became Pastor Kenneth or Reverend Kenneth. Shortly after that, he tried getting to stardom through marriage alliance. He married the only daughter of his general overseer, hoping that the old man will hand over the church to him and the money that goes with it. The old man saw through Kenneth. He knew Kenneth had no calling. He knew what Kenneth was doing on the pulpit was nothing but Nollywood on steroid. He knew Kenneth had no spirit of God in him. He was a charlatan, a man who was controlled by his stomach, a man who came from indirectly to try to take what he did not work for. So when Kenneth realized he wasn't going to achieve that ambition of taking over the church, he went out of that marriage. Yeah, there was a divorce, and he returned back to Nollywood. But he's still a man on mission. What did he do? 1 or 2 movies after that, he went into politics. Now, by this time, supporting and canvassing for vote for Buhari. As bad as Buhari was in his first term, Kenneth shamelessly canvassed for vote for Buhari. Today, he will present it as a patriotic move. But there was nothing patriotic about Kenneth's move and support for Buhari. He wanted to achieve 2 things with Buhari. Kenneth had a vague mentality, thinking that he could become governor of Enugu State. So he went home. He had no money. So he went home thinking that by holding 1 or 2, 3 town meetings supporting Buhari, that Buhari was going to hand over the ticket of Enugu State to him. When that failed, he also thought probably Buhari would have given him a national platform to showcase his talent at lying as a political spin doctor. That was his ambition, but Buhari didn't notice him. While Kenneth was all over the East trying to campaign for Buhari's second term, Buhari was killing his people all over the East. The Eastern youth Kenneth told you he loved. Yeah, Buhari was killing them, murdering them in every street. From Owerri to Ababa to Enugu to Abakaliki. These youths were killed by Buhari. And what did Kenneth say? Nothing. Buhari's Fulani men invaded Enugu and killed Kenneth's people. Did you hear anything Kenneth say about it? He said absolutely nothing. Buhari sent Operation Python dance to Nnamdi Kanu's house, which led to the death of Nnamdi Kanu's parents. What did Kenneth Okonkwo say? Absolutely nothing. But he's a lover of Igbo people, right? When Tinubu and his people destroyed shops and buildings in Lagos, for which he is today accusing Obi, tell me what Kenneth said. Kenneth said nothing. Why all this were happening? Kenneth was busy defending Buhari, trying to convince Igbos to still give their vote to Buhari. Now, Kenneth said he loved Nigerian youths, that he stand wherever the youth stands, are standing. Now, there was a Lekki toll blockade by the Nigerian youth. Remember that, right? Was Kenneth there? That is the question. Did Kenneth support that move? The answer is no. Did he make any statement when people got murdered there? Absolutely nothing. He said nothing. Absolutely nothing. Pim, he did not say. He just only wanted a selfish move for himself, a platform for himself. That's all he wanted, right? But there are Igbo Nollywood stars like himself that have consistently said things about Igbo youth. Whenever Igbos are affected, you see them say something. Give me Kanayo Kanayo. Nine ritual and chief priest. Give me Kanayo Kanayo. Kanayo Kanayo will always say something whenever the Igbos are affected. Yeah. What about Kenneet? Absolutely nothing. He says nothing, absolutely. He's not concerned, he's not involved. Bring it to 2023. 2023, Kenneth saw a loophole in a shining candidate in the person of Obi, a sellable candidate, what the people actually wanted. So he was a launch pad for Kenneth. He jumped on it. He imposed himself on Obi. Obi did not ask Kenneth to defend him. Obi did not ask Kenneth to sell him. Obi is already sold. But Kenneth wanted a platform to showcase his ability to lie and his ability as a spin doctor. So Kenneth can unsay the things he has said in the past. He can re-say it again. He can change it tomorrow. He's just like a rainbow. He's a chameleon with several colors. What he said in the morning could change in the evening. It could change in the afternoon. It could change tomorrow, depending on where his stomach faces and who is involved and who is paying him at that time. Kenneth's problem with Obi is nothing but hunger. Obi adeyesheshe. That's all. Well, his new Alhaji Onachurefi, we all know that Atiku Abubakar is a kind man and he has deep pocket, you know. So one or two things here and there, in a little bit of cushioning of Kenneth's hunger. Kenneth, that's what your problem is. You are hungry. You have no money. You have a big ambition, but you don't have no money to advance it. For your information, Kenneth, I am running through Obi. There are millions like me running through Obi. Obi is our platform. Obi is our political party. When you become people's political party, you don't go through primaries. So Obi don't have to go through primaries. Obi was asked by people like us to leave your useless ADC. And he has to leave. Obi doesn't have to subject himself to becoming Atiku Abubakar's vice. Because if he had done that, he would have lost people like me and many others supporting him. So he did actually what his support base wanted. We are all running through Obi. Obi has become our political party. Get it into your head. We don't belong to any party. If his new party, the NDC, try to mess him up again, we will ask him to leave. He will leave. We will follow him. Get used to it. We have moved on. You can also move on. Kenneth, you are not too old to run for president. Obi is not terribly older than you. How about you take a form and go and run? I know you can't win a councillorship in your Enugu state. That's obvious fact. So stop running. Stop running your mouth. Stop thinking you can damage the man. You can't damage the man. His followers like us know who he is. Obi built a brand by being honest and doing it the legal way. It is not your schoolyard politics where you send people to the street and do Oshebe. What do you want Obi to do after he lost the election? Maybe send people children, you know, in harm's way in the name of demonstration, doing Oshebe, then you would have been happy. Your shame just they shame me anyhow anyway. Because I just realized you are not what I think you are, as a matter of fact. So get some rest, bro. Take a chill pill. You want to go? You can go and run the election yourself. You want to go? Yeah. Get into the race yourself. If you are so pissed, get pissed and get into the race. Leave Obi alone. Obi is a man that millions are running through him. He is today our own political party, so he's an institution. You can't damage such a man. Have no this and no peace. Kenneth, go and run. You are not too big to run. Go and run. Let's see how you run.
Good morning, everyone. I want to react to a lot of nonsense I've heard from that so-called Kenneth Okonkwo. A whole lot of nonsense. In fact, I've watched several things, several utterances, is vituperations and vilifications of the personality of Peter Obi. I think I felt the need to talk to him. In fact, firstly, I want to let him know that the day we step on the soil of Abia to campaign for that so-called criminal Atiku Abubakar, we are going to pelt him with bullets. Take it from me, idiots. Nobody cares about what you think. In fact, for you to descend so low, to stoop so low, to academically shame Peter Obi, just reveals to me how low you are, how stupid you are. In fact, I don't even know how to qualify your kind of person. But let me ask you a few questions. Kenneth Okonkwo, is leadership capacity or ability determined by a university degree? I repeat, is leadership capacity or ability determined by a university degree? Not by competence, not by vision, not by experience, not by integrity, not by vision, not by the ability to motivate and inspire hopes in people. Do you understand what I asked you? Kenneth Okonkwo, let me ask you again. Do you know that many world leaders and great inventors and successful people who have changed nations and generations did not even go to school? They didn't even have the opportunity of formal schooling or formal education. Do you know that? You don't know. I'll give you an example. Have you read about the likes of Thomas Edison? Thomas Edison only attended formal school for only 3 months in his life. 3 months in his entire life. He was homeschooled by his mother, where he was only reading from home and experimenting. Today, the light bulb we are using today, photography, you see, motion pictures today are all the inventions of Thomas Edison. Go and fact check it and then read about Thomas Edison. You'll be so marveled. He never went to school at all in his life. He only went for 3 months. And let me shock you, Thomas Edison holds over 1,000 US patents. You see, who university degree help? You see, now let me not even don't go far. Have you read about Humphrey Davis? You see, he only had little opportunity for formal education. His father was a very poor man, a wood carver. You see, he never had the opportunity of going to just little opportunity of formal education in his life. And because his father was poor, he could not advance, nothing really could. He began to learn a lot of things. And the end of the day, he is the inventor of the miner's safety lamp. Do you know that? The miner's safety lamp they use in mining, you see, was invention of Humphrey Davy, who had just little opportunity for formal education in his life. Do you know that? Today, that invention shaped the world, understand? Shaped generations and the rest. Do you know that? Have you also read about somebody like Benjamin Montgomery? Have you read about him? If not, maybe you've not. Go and read about this man, understand? You will be marveled at what they've achieved in life without formal, or with only little or without even formal education at all. You see, Benjamin Montgomery largely, taught himself, understand, and also received just little formal education in his life. In the end, the steam-operated propeller for shallow water boats was invented by Benjamin Montgomery. Do you know that? He invented that steam-operated, propeller. You see. Now, what I want to let you know in life is that these great names I just mentioned, you see, received no education at all, or very little education. They learned through apprenticeship and became what they are. In fact, they focus on problems they saw in real life and just learned only what would enable them to solve those problems. That is what I want to see you people campaigning on. You should campaign. Your political disagreement should be issues based. To campaign on how you are going to solve the problem bedeviling people in that zoo you call Nigeria. Not coming out to be say, oh, he has a third class degree and want to complain, blah blah blah. Come on. Now I know that you are a real fool, Kenneth Okonkwo. You are not worth it. You are a real fool. Kenneth Okonkwo, have you read about the likes of Bill Gates? Have you read about the likes of Steve Jobs? Have you read also about the likes of Mark Zuckerberg, the so-called Facebook you are using to talk nonsense today? You see, it's invented by Mark Zuckerberg, you see, which has shaped the world today. This guy, I don't know whether in fact, your own foolishness has no parallel anywhere. I'm telling you. Kenneth Okonkwo, let me ask you again. Has Peter Obi ever said that he is the only Igbo man who is capable of ruling Nigeria, or that can become Nigeria's president? Has he ever said that? You see? I mean, has he ever said that? It is a very big thing of shame that you are coming out to discuss, say all of these things, that this demeaning thing, you think it can move Peter Obi? When I'm done, I will let you know why Peter Obi is your headache, and the headache of all of you in that zoo you call Nigeria. You see, I am very proud, as I said, that I can be bold to tell my son that I've come across one politician in Nigeria and in Africa, and of the Igbo extraction in the person of Peter Obi, who was never, blameworthy in public service. No drug case, no certificate forgery, you see, no ICP after him, no EFCC after him, no borrowing, not putting his state in debt and all of that. And through him, a lot of things happened. You see, he brought civility to governance, discipline, orderliness, and all of that. You see, these are the things people are supporting in Peter Obi. Track record of discipline, of the ability to bring orderliness and civility to governance, of his prudence, you see. And the fact that Peter Obi represents a different approach to governance in that zoo you call Nigeria. In fact, he's a different human being entirely. And if not perfection, if not for the fact that perfection is solely the attribute of God Almighty, I would have ascribed it to the personality of Peter Obi. I'm telling you the fact about it. I am telling you the fact about it. In fact, whenever I see that man, you see, it weakens me. I am just forced, out of the love I have for that man, the respect I have for him, you see, to talk about him. Not that I care about your zoo politics or whatsoever. And not even, don't go there. Let me tell you again, that the Igbo nation is blessed with countless brilliant minds, personalities, sons and daughters, you see, who can handle anything. I mean, people who had been in power that you know and left with their integrity intact. Obi is one of them that you know. I can go on and give you names, the lives of Chukwuemeka Ojukwu. These are men whom the loss of office did not magnate to be corrupt. I'm talking about the likes of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. I'm talking about the likes of Alex Ekwemi. On men without blemish record in public life. Tell me anyone, elsewhere in that zoo you call Nigeria. If you truly want Nigeria to progress, understand, can you support the lives of Atiku Abubakar? You said you are a so-called born again. If you are truly a born again, I do not see any reason why you can support a character like Atiku Abubakar. I don't think so. You see. So last, let me just let you know this. Let me let you know this. Political disagreement should be based, should be issues based, should be based on the ability, should be focused on what you people can do to solve the problems of insecurity, inflation, things bedeviling you people in that zoo you call Nigeria. That is what it should be. Not campaigns of calumny that you are peddling, against the personality of Peter Obi. For whether you all like it or not, Peter Obi remains the greatest challenge of all of you. A greatest challenge against Tinubu ahead of 2027. Whether you all like it or not. That's what I'm saying. Obi, well, the ball is in your court. Peter Obi remains a great challenge, a great headache to all of you in that zoo you call Nigeria. That is just all about it. It's as simple as...
There is no difference between the man living in bondage, Kenneth Okonkwo, and Daniel Bola. These two people have masters in lying. There is no politician that lies more than these people. They talk from the both sides of their mouth. They can do anything for money. In fact, these two people are political jobbers. They have the same characters. They share everything in common. I will play you this video of the man living in bondage, Kenneth Okonkwo, where he said all sorts of things about Atiku in 2023. And today, the same Kenneth Okonkwo, who said a lot of negative things about Atiku in 2023, is dancing and twerking for the same Atiku. To tell you that there is nothing this man cannot do for money. In fact, Kenneth Okonkwo, a chameleon, is better than him. Watch this video, and as you watch this video, I beg, share this video so that Nigerians will know that this man, Kenneth Okonkwo, is worse than a chameleon.
Abubakar is a man that has propensity for corruption, tendency to disloyalty, inability to say and speak the truth at all times. So he's a man who has propensity for poor judgment, belief and reliance in matter about, lack of transparency, a man who trusts in money to buy his way out in all situations, a man who has the readiness to sacrifice morality, integrity, propriety, truth, national interest for self and selfish interest. We are seeing it manifesting. It gives me goose pimples that Atiku has the national award in corrupting the generation before him and corrupting the generation after him. He said in that tape, I have advised Obasanjo against open corruption, meaning Atiku has been operating coded corruption, sacrificing innocent people and hiding.
Una don't see him here and by on herself. Every man has a price tag. There is a particular place that attracts me most, where he said that Atiku is a man that can buy with money anything that he wants. And I believe that this same part attracts Kenneth Okonkwo. He has bought Kenneth Okonkwo with his money. And that is what Kenneth was expecting from Peter Obi, which were not forthcoming, because Peter Obi is a man that does not spend recklessly, is a man that does not spend extravagantly because he works for his money.
Good day to our viewers all over the world and welcome back to Local Journal. It is obvious that the living in bondage man Andy Okeke has lost touch with realities, because I don't know why his only job is going about to media station to attack Peter Obi. And I listened to so many people saying that we should leave Kenneth Okonkwo alone, that we know that you guys already know him and you're already like kind of accustomed to his usual behavior of always satisfying his stomach. No, we are not going to leave him alone until he stops talking about Peter Obi. He should face his principal article. He should focus on how he will market his principal who has been rejected by Nigerians to Nigerians, so that they could like him and vote for him and not attack the person of Mr. Peter Obi. If Kenneth continues to attack the person of Mr. Peter Obi for being so calm and not troublesome like other candidates, then of course we have no reason to back down. We'll continue to call Kenneth Okonkwo out as well until he stops making all these derogatory and denigrating comments about Obi on various TV stations. We are not going to stop. We are not backing down. What has he done so far? What has Kenneth the position and everything Kenneth Okonkwo is today, the relevance he's gotten today, spawns from everything Peter Obi has done and the good works of Mr. Peter Obi. If Peter Obi has not brought him up as Labour Party spokesman in the 2023 general election, who would know Kenneth Okonkwo today, and how would Atiku hire him today to be running his mouth like an unstoppable tap water? There is no way. Obi has done a whole lot for Kenneth Okonkwo, but instead of like a kind of staying put and ensuring that this whole battle of like getting a new Nigeria is like a kind of actualized, he decided to go for his stomach and his own selfish interest, and now he's going all about gallivanting and making all sort of subtle shade and direct attack on the person of Mr. Peter Obi. There is no way he can say anything, no matter what he says about Peter Obi. It's not going to change the fact that the government has nothing to criticize Peter Obi for. There is no way they cannot probe him. They've never invited him for any fraud case or any fraud related stuff, any money laundering related stuff. They've not. This is someone who is honest and a rare gem in African politics, and yet you want us to like leave him alone to go and support someone who is fond of dollarizing primaries and like kind of inducing voters with money. That is not the Nigeria we want, and that is not the kind of president we want. We know the kind of president we want, and is the kind of president we want that we voted in 2023, not the current one that is there. The president we voted and won is Mr. Peter Obi. Peter Obi won the 2023 general election, but they used their abacadabra connection and their power to usurp everything and change everything and to deceive Nigeria into bringing the person that is currently there today. And what are we seeing? What is the result of what we are saying of like voting this man and rigging this man out? The result is what we are saying today: economic hardship, inflation, and suffering pains, all of that, insecurity, and all of that. Understand? This is the result. So there is no way you come up today to come and your antics is something Nigerians already know. So nobody is like kind of new to all this whole thing you are saying. But the thing is this, we are still going to remain put and we'll keep on criticizing and dragging you until you stop speaking about Peter Obi. Focus on your principal. Focus on your principal, Atiku Abubakar, and leave Peter Obi alone. Drop what you think about this in the comment section, and if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel.